Hello and welcome to TV Box Top, the channel for the best reviews in TV boxes, mini PCs, and accessories. Today I have a special TV box from one of the earliest and founding developers of the Android TV box industry, who we have not seen in the mainstream market for some time, but is well known and respected in the industry. For today's video, I bring to you the King S22 by Zoomtak. This is their latest model, and it runs on the Amlogic S922X Hexa core CPU on 4GB of DDR4 RAM and 64GB of internal storage. This new model comes just in time for the 11/11 sales event and delivers some much needed relief from all those low performance all-winner models. So let's see if the Zoomtak King S22 is a winner and how it compares to similar models. Don't go anywhere, my full review is up next. So I'm back, and in the box you have the usual TV box contents. You have the King S22 TV box itself, one IR remote, one HDMI cable, a 5V 3A DC power adapter, and a user's manual. Let's take a look at its design and ports. The body is made of a metal alloy with the King S22 logo printed to the top. To the rear of the box, you have one HDMI port, one RJ45 Ethernet LAN port, one optical audio port. It has RCA audio-video output ports, an external antenna, and the DC power input. On the right side of the box, you have one USB 3.0 port, two USB 2.0, a reset button, and a standard size SD card reader. To the opposite side is blank. To the front, you have an LED display and an IR sensor. And below the box, you have 4 rubber feet and the compartment that houses the caddy for the SATA expandable storage. However, this model, which is the 64GB model, does not have the storage expansion feature. It's only available in the 32GB model. So I'll just take a moment to set this up on my TV and continue. So this is the launcher, and though it may seem new and different, I've seen this one before in another model, which is the Superbox S1 Pro IPTV TV box that I've reviewed a while ago. It comprises of this large shortcut for Kodi, along with a Netflix and YouTube shortcut that cannot be changed, and it has 3 additional slots for you to add some more shortcuts. It has a one-click cleanup button for killing apps running in the background and freeing up system resources. At the bottom here, you have an apps shortcut, one for the browser, the settings area, and the default file browser. This launcher does not have a navigation bar or status bar that comes in handy for users that like to navigate with mouse pointers. This firmware has settings in 3 areas. It has the King S22 settings area, a device preferences settings area, and a Droid settings area. Features include, under Droid settings, you have 4K display up to 2160p at 60Hz. You have Dolby Vision settings, HDR settings, HDMI CEC options, audio output settings, and power definition options. There is no root switch, hardware monitor settings, screen rotation settings, Samba server settings, Dolby and DTS audio options, and no navigation bar or status bar settings. I will, however, later in the video check to see if Dolby and DTS audio options are enabled by default. These are the apps that come pre-installed. For streaming, you have Kodi, Netflix, and TV Mate, which is a universal IPTV client app. You also have Miracast, Aptoy TV, the Google Play Store, and wireless updates. Before I proceed to install my additional set of apps, there is one wireless update to complete. So I will complete the update and check to see if there are any major changes and continue. So the update was successful and there was no noticeable firmware changes or new features. To start this segment, let's have a look at its system and hardware information. This model of the Zoomtak King S22 comes with 4GB of RAM and 64 GB of internal storage, from which this is the remainder after the Android installation and all the apps installed. The Bluetooth version, according to the product description, is 5.0, which is represented by the 4 Plus here. The CPU, which is the Amlogic S922X, is a 64-bit CPU divided into a quad-core Cortex-A73 running at 1.7 GHz and a dual-core Cortex-A53 running at 1.8 GHz for a total of 6 cores with a CPU clock range of 1.8 GHz configured in 32-bit mode. Below here it shows that it has support for 32-bit ABIs, which limits it to only 32-bit applications. Its display is powered by the ARM Mali G52 GPU with a refresh rate of 60 Hz with OpenGLES version 3.2, which is good for gaming. Under network, it shows that the 5 GHz band is supported. Under Android, it shows that the operating system is Android 9 Pie and it shows that the box is rooted. Under temperature, it shows that the box runs between 50 and 60 degrees Celsius under normal operation, and I will monitor to see how high it increases during 3D gaming. Under codecs, it shows that it has all the decoders for the playback of 4K media, and in this list I can identify the Dolby Vision and DTS HD decoders. And that's it for system and hardware information. Let's now have a look at its benchmarks. First, its RAM copy speed and its internal storage read and write speeds. In this test, it shows that the King S22 has a RAM copy speed of 5,564 MB per second. Its internal storage has a read speed of 125 MB per second and a write speed of 93. These scores are high scores for a TV box and reflects well on its performance. Next, these are the results of its Wi-Fi bands and Ethernet LAN speed test. And here you can see that the King S22 doing really well on the 5 GHz band, achieving 100% of my bandwidth. The 2.4 GHz band achieved just 53%, and the LAN port also achieved 100% of my bandwidth. So the King S22 caters for all your bandwidth needs, whether you have a fast internet connection over 100 megabits per second or average bandwidth below 60. I now show the results of the Antutu benchmark, the score that I use as reference to rank TV boxes on my chart. In this test, the Zoomtak King S22 scored 113,066. Well, this score is surely higher than what you will get on a regular Android TV box, so we will see in a moment where it places on the chart. Next, these are the results of the Geekbench 4 CPU benchmark. The results show that it got a score of 1,164 single-core and 3,237 multi-core. These are some high-performance CPU scores, and it speaks well to the performance of this box. The final results are those of the 3DMark Gamers Bench GPU benchmark. The King S22 does not have Vulkan support, so it only qualifies for the Ice Storm Extreme test and the Slingshot test. It shows that it maxed out in the Ice Storm Extreme test as expected with most S922X models, and it scored 1,496 in the Slingshot test. These are some great results, which makes the King S22 suitable for 3D gaming. And that's the last of the benchmarks. Let's now see where it places on the chart. So after entering the scores on my rankings chart, the Zoomtak King S22 is at position 11 in reference to Antutu benchmark scores. I believe this placement is due to the fact that they chose to clock their CPU at 1.8 GHz compared to the 1.9 and 2.2 in similar models. You can view this chart on my website in full spreadsheet format, where you can view the top TV boxes for 2020 along with my price comparison links. See the link in the description below this video. So the first segment dealt with hardware specs and performance, and I now move on to the second half where I deal with customization and entertainment features. To start this segment, I will first start with alternative launchers, an alternative navigation bar, and a custom live wallpaper. The King S22 can use alternative launchers. Here I installed the ADW Launcher 2 along with an alternative navigation bar and a live wallpaper. They all work without issues. and a link to the navigation bar can be found in the description below this video. And just in case you were wondering, you cannot change the wallpaper of the default launcher. Next, I test to see if it has screen rotation feature. This feature is used by persons that use vertical signage in their stores and businesses and would like to rotate their display to portrait mode. However, after attempting to rotate to portrait mode, I'm sorry to report that the King S22 does not support screen rotation. Another feature people are interested about is the use of webcams in social media apps. I inserted my PC webcam and attempted to use it in Skype, but the app wouldn't recognize or detect the webcam. I now focus on its entertainment features, and to do that, I will first show the root state of the box and its DRM information. In the root checker app, it shows that the box is rooted, running on Android 9 operating system. In this box, there is no root switch, so you may be tempted to update the SuperUser app, but I strongly advise against doing this as it will put the box into a permanent boot loop that can only be fixed by flashing the firmware. The DRM information shows that it has Google Widevine Level 3 with no HDCP protection. This level of DRM limits premium streaming services to basic quality, whatever that is for each individual service. Staying on the topic of premium streaming services, the King S22 comes pre-installed with a working version of Netflix, but it cannot be installed from the Google Play Store and you would have to sideload it to update it or reinstall it. Here it shows in a video description that it has no HD or HDR icon that indicates that it only shows in basic quality only. Amazon Prime Video, on the other hand, installs directly from the Play Store, but it has the same limitation. Even though in some of the video descriptions you may see HDR icons, it will only show in basic quality due to the lack of DRM support. The Android TV version of YouTube comes pre-installed. However, it's affected by the Google text-to-speech assistants that can be very annoying.
HD, unbelievable beauty, lounge films, relaxing music and nature sounds, 4K, 14M views, 1 year ago.
This annoyance can be disabled by disabling the Google text-to-speech feature in the settings area. So I will disable that feature and return to the app. So the YouTube app can play in 4K 2160p resolution, and I would also like to inform you that I updated the app using the Aptoid App Store, and while playing this video, the HDR icon was triggered on my TV. So YouTube plays in 4K HDR quality on this box. The box comes pre-installed with the official version of Miracast. Here I'm casting my mobile phone to the box and it works without issues. I will now play my list of 4K video samples in HDR format and let's see how the box handles it. so the samples played flawlessly as expected with these S922X models. Also, during the playback, the HDR icon was triggered on my TV. I will now test for digital surround sound audio output by connecting the box to my receiver in HDMI pass-through configuration using the VLC player with audio pass-through enabled in the settings area. I will be testing for Dolby Atmos, DTS:X HD Master Audio, THX and Dolby TrueHD.
This is Dolby Atmos, the world's first object-based cinematic audio. With powerful moving audio that transcends from channels.
Juries, executioners, judges.
Welcome to the inside of your head.
This is the left channel.
So this test reveals that the King S22 has Dolby Atmos, DTS:X HD Master Audio and THX. However, it does not output Dolby TrueHD. I will now play some Android games to test its graphics rendering, gamepad key mapping and for overheating.
Side of the stadium have been bumper to bumper with traffic. The car parks are full. There is a torrent of humankind making its way from the looking, and now the breakaway. He's left his man. Shoots! And it's a goal! Really outwitted one-on-one. You felt that was going somewhere, but they'll have to go again. Bassano. Great strength, too strong for his opponent. Goyos. He's had a shot! He scores! All too easy. They are in danger of disappearing out of sight. He does it. Oh, no, that's not the ball he wanted. Now a chance to break. Now can he finish? Goes for goal! They are rampant! And they are cruising away. Ball's come loose and the chase is on. He's got away. Real chance! And yes, it's there! Result no longer in doubt. It's just...
Here is Love. Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession. Outside Durant. Right side Durant. The Cavaliers leading. Just about 1.5 minutes gone by here in the fourth. Back to Cousins. Curry. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And he gets it to go.
They're relying on their three-point shooting and getting...
So the gaming experience and graphics rendering was outstanding. You can use gamepad key mapping apps to play touchscreen games, and the temperature during gaming is between 70 and 80 degrees, which is acceptable because it didn't affect or result in any throttling. If you apply a cooling fan, it drops and maintains around 50 degrees. In summary, the Zoomtak King S22 is another addition to the great line of Amlogic S922X models. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles that we have grown accustomed to from the U-Goose models, but it is indeed a solid high-end performing TV box, and I definitely recommend it based on its hardware performance, entertainment features, and gaming performance. But as with all TV boxes, it does have its drawbacks, such as no navigation bar and status bar, no root switch, no screen rotation feature. Out of all the digital audio formats, it's missing Dolby TrueHD, and it's missing the components to connect an external hard drive below the box. And with that said, I've come to the end of my review. If you would like to get your hands on the new Zoomtak King S22, links can be found in the description directly below this video and on my blog. And as always, thanks for watching. Give this video the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and the information was of value. And if you are a first time viewer to my channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell before leaving to be notified via email when I release new videos or decide to do a giveaway. Stay tuned and I'll be seeing you in the next one.